When you think of anime, you think of Goku. For over 3 decades, he's symbolized power, perseverance, and heart. But somewhere along the way, something changed. The Goku we once knew, a warrior who learned, evolved, and sacrificed everything to help others, has slowly been replaced by someone else. A man obsessed with the thrill of battle, often reckless, sometimes childish, and at times, dangerously irresponsible. So the question stands, was Goku's character assassinated? Or was this who Goku always was, just fully unmasked? In this video, we'll focus solely on the Z'd part, and part 2 will be coming out next week, focusing on the Super part. We're going arc by arc, from the Saiyan saga to the Buu saga, to explore Goku's journey. We'll examine his growth and regression, his responsibilities and failures, and his role not just as a Saiyan, but as an Earthling, friend and protector of Earth. Let's start at the beginning of the legend, the Saiyan saga. Before we dive further into the topic, welcome to the Dragon of Samsara, where we'll cover everything anime, from discussions to lore drops, Q&As, and what-ifs. You'll find all the latest anime and manga news here. We post a video once a week, so consider subscribing if you like the video so you don't miss the next one. The Saiyan saga is where Dragon Ball shifted from an adventure comedy to something bigger, something heavier. And for Goku, it was the beginning of his transformation, not just in strength, but in character. He's more mature than his youthful Dragon Ball days, but that doesn't mean he's a paragon of responsibility. The Saiyan saga paints a complex image. When Raditz arrives and drops the bombshell that Goku is a Saiyan, Goku is forced to face the truth about his identity. But his reaction? He rejects it. He doesn't care about his alien roots. His loyalty lies with Earth, his friends, and his family. That already shows growth. He chooses humanity, not his heritage. And when push comes to shove, he teams up with his sworn rival, Piccolo, to protect his son and save the planet. He sacrifices himself without hesitation, a first truly selfless and emotionally mature decision. But Goku isn't without flaws here. His decision to let Gohan stay with Piccolo is questionable at best. It was a wartime decision. It ended up working, and he could tell that Piccolo was changing. But trusting a former enemy with your 4-year-old son? That's not exactly Dad of the Year. After the battles with the Saiyans, we see Goku begin to wrestle with what it means to be a Saiyan. Unlike Vegeta or Raditz, Goku has no pride in his race, only in his values. But when he hears about the Saiyan legacy, something awakens, the thrill of fighting strong opponents. Even in this arc, Goku's love for battle is clear. He tells Vegeta that he wants to fight him again, not out of hatred, but respect. That sets the foundation for a duality we'll see throughout the series. Goku the Protector versus Goku the Warrior. The Saiyan saga gives us a Goku who is complex. He's brave, loyal, and evolving, but still flawed, still impulsive, still leaning into that Saiyan instinct to fight. It's a foundation, one that the rest of Z would build on. Next, we'll look at the Namek saga, where Goku's strength reaches new heights, and so do his contradictions. If the Saiyan saga laid the foundation for Goku's character in Z, the Namek saga built the myth. This is where Goku ascends from elite martial artist to something else entirely, the first Super Saiyan in 1,000 years. But with that legendary power comes a deeper insight into his values, and a few red flags we'd later see amplified in Super. Let's start with the maturity aspect. When Goku arrives on Namek, he's fresh off training in 100x gravity, pushing his body to near death, just to stand a chance. He immediately saves Gohan and Krillin from the Ginyu Force without hesitation. He's calm and tactical, and doesn't waste time flaunting his power. He's efficient, and he shows empathy. After Captain Ginyu wrecks his own body, Goku still offers him help. Even though he's an enemy, Goku's compassion doesn't fade. That's the Earthling in him, his humanity showing through the Saiyan exterior. And then comes Frieza. After watching his best friend Krillin get murdered, Goku snaps. But instead of going wild with rage, his transformation into a Super Saiyan is almost tragic. It's quiet, emotional, almost like grief transforming into resolve. It's one of the most powerful moments in anime history and shows Goku as someone who feels deeply despite his goofy surface. But then we get to one of the most controversial decisions Goku makes in Z, letting Frieza power up to 100%. It's not just risky, it's borderline irresponsible. Goku claims it's out of respect for Frieza that he wants a fair fight, but the stakes are universal. His friends could die, Namek could explode, and Frieza is the literal embodiment of evil. And yet, Goku gambles. It's the first time we see Goku's obsession with battle overrides his duty to end the threat quickly. This moment feels like a precursor to what we'd see later in Super, Goku prioritizing challenge over consequences. This is the arc where Goku finally embraces his Saiyan heritage. But he does it on his terms. He doesn't call himself Kakarot because of pride. He does it to honor his parents' sacrifice and to make it clear that Frieza failed to erase their race. It's powerful because it isn't about Saiyan pride, it's about legacy and identity. Goku says, "I am the hope of the universe." And at that moment, he becomes the bridge between Saiyan warrior and Earthling protector. Even when Namek is collapsing and everyone's rushing to escape, Goku chooses to stay behind, not just to fight Frieza, but because he believes he can end it on his own and spare everyone else. It's heroic, but it's also a gamble, one that nearly kills him. The Namek saga shows Goku at his most iconic, the Super Saiyan, the hero, the legend. But they also mark the beginning of a recurring theme. Goku is willing to put the world at risk to satisfy his code of honor in battle. At this stage, it's forgivable, even admirable. But with each arc, that line between warrior and reckless fighter starts to blur. And in the Android saga, Goku's decisions as a father, a mentor, and a fighter come under serious fire. If the Namek arc made Goku a legend, the Android saga brought him back down to Earth, literally and metaphorically. This part of the story reveals more about Goku as a human being than as a warrior. We see his strength, yes. But more importantly, we see his flaws, his philosophy, and his legacy as a father. And not all of it sits right. The Android arc kicks off with a mysterious warning from future Trunks. Powerful androids are coming, and they'll wipe out everyone unless Goku trains. Rather than panic, Goku's excited, not terrified, not worried, excited. And it's here that we see Goku's battle-first mindset become a recurring trait. Instead of trying to stop the future from happening at all costs, Goku trains with the hope of meeting strong opponents head-on. He treats it like an opportunity more than a threat. It's admirable in a Saiyan sense, but kind of tone-deaf as an Earthling with a family and planet to protect. Goku contracting the heart virus is a big turning point. For the first time, he's completely helpless. Power means nothing. He's bedridden, weak, and sidelined. It humanizes him. He's not untouchable. And for a moment, it seems like the arc will pass to the next generation. Let's talk about the most infamous Goku moment in the entire series, giving Cell a Senzu Bean so he can fight Gohan at full power. Now, on paper, Goku's reasoning kinda tracks. He believes in Gohan's potential. He knows his son has power even if he can't match it. So he pushes Gohan into the spotlight, trying to draw out that hidden strength. But in practice, it's wildly reckless. He's gambling with the fate of the world, not just on a theory, but on a child. Goku doesn't ask Gohan how he feels. He doesn't protect him. He forces the fight. And to make it worse, he gives the villain a healing item to make it fair. That's not a strategy. That's a dangerous obsession with testing limits, a pattern that begins to outweigh Goku's responsibility as a father and protector. But here's the thing. Goku isn't a cold, uncaring dad. He just has a Saiyan's approach to parenting. He does care. We see that when he sacrifices himself to save Earth by teleporting Cell away. That moment is one of his best in the series. Selfless, brave, and decisive. It's the kind of thing only Goku would do. After death, he even chooses to stay in the other world, believing the planet will be safer without him. That's not immature. That's self-awareness. So while he fumbled with Gohan, his final act in the Cell arc shows tremendous growth, humility, and sacrifice. The Android arc is where Goku's contradictions hit hardest. He's wise and reckless, brave and irresponsible, caring but emotionally distant. He's not a perfect hero. He's a flawed protector, shaped by both Saiyan instincts and Earthling. And while fans were split on his decisions, one thing became clear. Goku wasn't just a fighter anymore. He was a symbol of both hope and imperfection. After 7 years in the other world, Goku returns different. Not in strength, though he's now a Super Saiyan 3, but in attitude. He's calmer, wiser, and more zen, but also noticeably detached. Almost like a visitor, rather than Earth's protector. And maybe that's the point. One of the first things Goku does when he returns is enter the World Martial Arts Tournament for fun. Not to protect Earth, not to prepare for danger, just to fight. When Babidi and Dabura started causing chaos and reviving Majin Buu, Goku could have stepped in immediately, but he holds back. Why? Because he thinks it's the next generation's job. He believes Gohan or someone else should step up. He even considers Goten and Trunks, literal kids, as Earth's future saviors. In theory, it's noble. Goku isn't hogging the spotlight. He's trying to pass the torch. But in practice, the world is on the brink of destruction, and Goku refuses to stop it because he wants others to grow through battle. That's Saiyan thinking. But it's also borderline irresponsible. Goku does step in eventually, but not to save Earth. He accepts Vegeta's challenge to a rematch, knowing full well that Buu is awakening during their fight. This isn't about the mission. This is about unfinished business. But it's not without meaning. This fight represents Goku's respect for Vegeta, his willingness to honor Vegeta's pride, even if it means risking everything. It's reckless, yes, but also incredibly human. And when Goku learns that Vegeta sacrificed himself to stop Buu, it visibly shakes. That moment humbles Goku. It reminds him of what true selflessness looks like. Goku finally reveals Super Saiyan 3, just to stall Buu. Let's be real. This was plot convenience, but character-wise, it's a strange move. He shows off his power but doesn't use it to finish the fight. Later, we learn that using Super Saiyan 3 drains too much energy from a living body, but why show it to the enemy in the first place? It feels like Goku wanted to show off more than strategize, again blurring lines. This detachment is part of the new Goku, someone who believes others should grow on their own, even if the world is ending. At the climax of the arc, Goku finally takes center stage. He defeats Kid Buu with a spirit bomb, not alone, but with energy from all living beings on Earth. It's poetic. It shows Goku can be the hero when it counts. But even then, his wish isn't for peace. It's to meet a reincarnation of Buu so he can fight him again. He chooses battle again. The Buu Saga Goku is a mixed bag. He's wiser, more powerful, and more philosophical, but also more disconnected. From Earth, from his family, and from practical responsibility. He wants to pass the torch, but he does it on his terms. He wants peace, but not if it means not fighting. This Goku isn't a failure of writing. He's a reflection of his Saiyan nature, amplified over years of being dead, training alone, and living as more warrior than man. But this version of Goku raises a question. Is he even the same person anymore? This brings us to the final stretch, Dragon Ball Super, where everything we've seen starts to unravel. By the time the Cell Saga ends and we head into the Buu arc, it's clear that Goku is no longer just a martial artist or even just a hero. He's a symbol. But he's also a man stuck between two worlds. The Earthling protector who cares deeply, and the Saiyan warrior who craves the next challenge no matter the cost. Dragon Ball Z gave us a Goku who was flawed but fundamentally grounded. A man who made mistakes but who learned, evolved, and in the end, grew into a legend worthy of the title savior of Earth. But what happens when that foundation gets shaken? When the stakes get cosmic, the gods enter the picture, and power becomes infinite. In Dragon Ball Super, Goku's character is pushed to the extreme. His flaws become louder, his responsibilities blur, and his love for battle, it just might put the entire multiverse at risk. So the question stands, did Super kill Goku's character, or did it finally reveal who he is? In Part 2, we're diving into the modern era, from Battle of Gods to superhero, to break down how Goku has changed, for better or worse. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss it, because the truth about Goku might surprise you. This is the Dragon of Samsara, and I'll see you in Part 2.